The gold spot price has now crossed $2,000 an ounce. I have two news stories, one with a prediction.
Welcome to Silver Heist. Thank you to our returning subscribers and guests. We are a channel that likes to hold physical gold and silver. To support my creation, please subscribe.
Well, gold has now hit $2,000 an ounce. Here's a story from Bloomberg, March 7th, 2022. Gold price rises above the $2,000 level as war in Ukraine boosts haven demand. Prices hit highest level since August 2020, closing in on record. Holdings in bullion-backed ETFs climbed to highest in a year. So I have this story plus a second one that actually has a prediction on where they think it goes next. So gold surged above $2,000 an ounce after the U.S. said it may ban Russian oil exports in retaliation for its invasion of Ukraine, raising concern about higher inflation and lower economic growth. Bullion extended its biggest weekly advance since July 2020 after Secretary of State Antony Blinken said on Sunday that the U.S. and its allies are discussing an embargo of Russian oil. That could further damp expectations for the Federal Reserve to aggressively hike interest rates this year to deal with what was already the highest inflation in 40 years. Any escalation of the war could push the world economy towards a stagflation scenario, which we see as very bullish for gold. Karsten Menke, head of the Next Generation Research at Julius Baer Group Limited, wrote in a note, investors who see the potential for a worsening could seek some protection in gold, but need to be aware that prices will likely retreat if their assumptions does not hold true. Investors in both ETFs and futures are now upping their bullish bets. Inflows into ETFs last week took holdings to the most in almost a year. Silver and platinum both advanced, while Palladium surged more than 14% to a record. And here's a second story from Reuters. Palladium charges to all-time high on Ukraine. Gold tests $2,000 an ounce. This is March 7th, 2022, 6:30 in the morning. Gold rises to the highest since August 2020. Palladium set for the best day in nearly 2 years. $2,000, little more than a speed bump for gold, says analyst. Palladium shot up to an all-time high as Russia's invasion of Ukraine and resultant sanctions stoked fear of scarcity, while gold tested the psychological $2,000 mark in response to demand for safe haven assets. Spot palladium soared 11.8% to $3,300 per ounce, on course for its biggest daily percentage rise since March 2020, after hitting an all-time high of $3,440 earlier. Palladium is reflecting deep scarcity and anticipation of further scarcity as things unfold in Ukraine and Russia, independent analyst Ross Norman said, adding that he expected the price rally to continue. Western nations have piled sanctions on Moscow, driving prices even higher across a range of commodities. Russia accounts for 40% of the global production of palladium used by automakers and catalytic converters to curb emissions. Possible supply outages from Russia are still being priced in on the palladium market, Commerzbank analyst said in a note. As supply outages could not be offset elsewhere, the market risks sliding into a sizable supply deficit. The surge in the gold price reflects increased risk aversion among market participants, and given the crisis in Ukraine, investors are likely to continue to seek refuge in gold, Commerzbank said. Gold is considered one of the oldest safe haven assets. In the current environment, I would expect $2,000 to represent little more than a speed bump, Norman said. So the all-time high in 2020 was reached at $2,060 an ounce. The world is looking for safe haven assets. If you've been stacking, the world is looking for the same safe haven asset that you've been acquiring yourself. Keep holding your gold. It is a safe haven asset. Please give this video a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.